Aloha, friends and family, and welcome back to the reading of Ascension, the shift to the fifth dimension. Greetings, we are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We have the desire to share with you our perspective on the way that you interpret reality. Keep in mind that this is just our perspective, and it is our perspective on how we perceive you interpreting your reality. So is it a truth then with a capital T? Probably not. But if it resonates, if it makes sense to you, then you might benefit from hearing our perspective on the way you interpret reality. First of all, we see you interpreting reality as solid and fixed. It is what it is, you sometimes say. When you take that approach to reality, you become powerless in the face of it. We also see that you look at the present as though it is the product of the past. You see continuity, and that often gives you comfort. We also see you projecting into the future more of what you see in the past. You make projections based upon the data that you have in front of you, and you extrapolate it out. So if things are going badly, they will get worse. This is the assumption. Here is what we invite you to do instead of maintaining your interpretation of reality. We suggest that you see your waking life as being no different than your dream life. In the realm of your dreams, things can change right in front of you. In the realm of your dreams, there is very little continuity, and it is often impossible for you to predict what is going to happen next, or what you will dream about next, based upon the current experience you are having in your dream. It behooves you to bring that same experience of reality to your waking life. As you begin to tear down the walls of the institution of the reality that you have been experiencing, you will find that there is indeed a great deal of power that you can obtain for yourselves. You can start very simply by acknowledging that you can change your interpretation of reality right now. Whatever it is that you are experiencing right now is not something that is unchangeable, and there is not just one interpretation of it. Shift your perspective and shift your experience of reality, and then see what shifts next. Why you are here. Some good coffee. It is the perfect time for you all to consider the big questions that often get bandied about in a person's lifetime. And there is a very good reason why it is the perfect time for you to be asking those questions. You are the ones who get to decide what the answers are. You are the ones deciding whether or not you are making the shift in this lifetime. You are the ones deciding what you want to do with your life, how you want to serve, and who exactly it is you want to be. You are catching up to where you were at the moment you decided to incarnate into this physical lifetime. And as you are able to access that aspect of yourself, you also get to decide what the new blueprints are going to look like for the next phase of your life and the next phase of your evolution. The old blueprints got you to where you are today. They got you to this awakened place where you are now. Now, as awakened beings who are continually downloading more and more of your higher self's consciousness, you are entitled to decide for yourselves how you want to move forward. You get to decide what you want to do. There is nothing outside of you making that decision for you. It was always you making decisions about this lifetime, but now you are throwing off the veil of the ego and the physical mind, and you are able to grasp more purely the concept of creating your own reality. You're also getting more and more every day to the truth of who you are. Many of you were raised to believe in a God that was outside of you, that ruled over you, and that decided what happened to you after you died. Coming to the realization that the source of all things and all beings is within you is one that takes time for you to actually do anything about. You have needed time to absorb this truth. And now that you know about the truth of who you are, it would be to your benefit to decide for yourself what it is you want to do with your life and how it is you want to serve. We want to say one more thing about this. Your presence here on planet Earth, holding the vibration that you are holding, seeking to be compassionate beings of service, that is enough. That is why you get to decide what you do, because it is up to you how you affirm the truth to yourself that your mere existence is of service to the whole. Nothing to learn. You have taken yourselves to a point in your evolutionary journey where you no longer need to be looking for the causes of why you are in a particular situation. You don't need to approach life and its circumstances from a practical and pragmatic way. You have the ability to shift from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. And that process of shifting does not require you to understand how you got to where you are. You don't need to make course corrections anymore. You can simply bring yourself to the place where you want to be vibrationally and then find yourself there. There is no reason for you to look at life as a series of lessons. You can be wherever you want to be, and you can become whatever you want to become without learning anything. What you do need, however, is practice. Practice is different because practice is something you do, whereas learning is something you conceptualize. We invite you to practice holding vibrations, especially the ones that you want to experience, the ones you want to create your reality with. This does not require you to go back and study your thoughts, words, and actions. All that is required of you is that you have a willingness to go within and seek out that vibration. Let your learning occur on a subconscious level. And if you insist on learning anything, learn how easy it is for you to find the vibration that you seek, and therefore to find the circumstance that you want to exist in. It is all much easier than you think, and you are ready now to experience faster turnaround times to the vibration that you are offering, so you can approach the creation of your reality with a renewed sense of excitement and eagerness, because now you know that you are being supported in the process by faster moving energies, and by no longer needing to look in the rearview mirror. Your intuition is your greatest asset. You have entered into a phase of your evolution where your intuition is going to be heightened, and it is going to be more important that you listen to it. When you are in a phase where everything is moving faster and you are jumping timelines left and right, your ability to hear and listen to your intuitive hits is your most important asset. Your intuition is always guiding you. It presents your connection to your guides, your higher self, your oversoul, future versions of you, and of course, source energy. It is data that you are receiving and interpreting. Therefore, you will want to get to know your intuition very well so that it becomes second nature to you. You will want to know how exactly you interpret the data that you are receiving. Are you more likely to feel something, to know something, to see something, or to hear something? What is your mode of receptivity? This is the very important for you to acknowledge so that you can tune in when you need to. And what we are saying is that you need to more often now than ever before. You can always make course corrections, but in the past you had more time with which to do so. Now you are manifesting faster and faster, and the physical is speeding up to synchronize with the energetic. Anything that gets you to pay more attention to what is going on within you is a good thing. So embrace this new phase of your evolution. Embrace your heightened sensitivities and embrace your ability to shift your reality in a heartbeat. Your intuition will get louder and louder, and your ability to sense it will increase as well. You must rely on yourselves to not go looking for answers outside of you as much in order to navigate into the fifth dimension, in order to thrive once you find yourselves there. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you. And I just want to talk about downloads a little bit and whatever else comes onto the radar. But it's an interesting thing, this downloads concept. Because essentially I think what's happening is we open ourselves up to a higher vibration of understanding. And so almost like the THC receptors open in your brain when you smoke weed, if you do, or if you have, we have receptors, let us say, to receive higher vibrational information. And kind of without anything really on our part other than just being at that level to receive that level of knowledge or wisdom or light or love or information, however you want to categorize it, then some little something happens and you receive a download. And an example of this, I was just talking to my buddy that was in the motorcycle accident, and he's doing great. He's really, really doing good. You would be amazed at how well he is doing. And I mean, he's, in my mind, and from what I am sensing, he's shifted to a higher level himself. Now, I don't know if that's directly as a result of the wreck, but it might be. And through him and I talking about all that, we've come to the conclusion that he subconsciously set up that circumstance so that he could, let us say, break free from some of the old cycling energies and patterns that he was in, that his higher self knows and knew, that he wants to break some of them patterns and some of that old energy, but just, to do it in your everyday life where you're right on top of the trees so that you don't really see the forest. Sometimes we need something to shake us or shift us or what have you. And so I kind of got a download myself, last night talking to him, and I said, dude, I think when you left your body, because he was unconscious for a certain amount of time and has no memory and recollection of the event itself. And I said, I think you went somewhere with someone or someones, and you sort of did what we're doing right now, and you had a discussion, and you looked at things, and you considered things, and then you came back, and then you woke up, and now you have this, whatever it was, let us just say download, because that seems to be a good fit for this kind of receiving and advancement. But back when we first were waking up, and let us say the day that he woke up, now this is years back. This is like 6 or so years ago. And I don't think he would mind me sharing this with everybody, but he had come to the place in his life where he was done. He was done with this life. He was done with playing the human role that he was playing. And he had come to the end of everything. He told his bosses to F themselves at work. He got his handgun, and he was headed out to the desert, and he was headed off planet. And he called me, and I happened to be driving my family across country at that moment. But anyway, he called me and left a message. So I heard the message. I was like, oh man, I better call him back. So I called him back. And when he says when he went to swipe the phone to turn, to hit, when you touch the little green part and you swipe to receive the call, he got a download at that very moment. And the download basically was the answer to the question that he had for me, that he was going to ask me. And so he went ahead and asked the question, even though he had already gotten the download and knew the answer. But the question was, if I take myself out, am I going to have to come back here and do this again and start over again? In other words, reincarnation cycle, reincarnating. And I said, yep. And he's like, son of a bitch. And he, kind of freaked out and got a little upset and angry at that, because that's not what he wanted to hear. But yet, like I said, he got the download when he was receiving the call. Like, it just energetically hit him, and he already knew. So he knew, man, I can't do this because I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to start all over again. And maybe, I don't know, but maybe you're risking losing the knowledge and the wisdom and the vibration you've achieved in this lifetime, if you have in fact started your awakening process, and you're in the process of awakening. And really, the process of awakening, we could just say, is the process of ascension. So it would probably be pretty risky, right, to off yourself just to start over in a new avatar or a different avatar, and perhaps you wouldn't remember. Perhaps you wouldn't get to the level of where you realized, oh wow, this is all an illusion here, that this is a matrix that they've created around us that we're living in. This is Maya, and I need to awaken and ascend out of it. And I need to become, the master of my destiny or my life or my co-creation. And that's where we're at, like bringing all of us up to current, where we are right now, currently. That's where we're at. We're at the point of becoming powerful co-creators because we now understand that we have that power. We've been given that, whatever you want to call it, gift, authority, dominion, power, opportunity, all that. We've been given all that, but we just did not know this, right? Nobody ever told us any of this. And so we just thought we were lowly little humans that had no power, no ability to co-create anything. And like the Arcturians just said in the book, we thought some God was out there lording over everything and like, you're going to do what it says. Instead of no sources coming through us. And reality is going to do what we say. And again, with the whole ego part of it, once the ego is been put in check, once your ego's not going to run away with this power, is not going to seek to dominate or build an earthly kingdom that's got 20-foot walls around it, and that whole thing. That's what the ego tends to do, right? It wants to use its power and test its power, and where do you do that? With other humans, other people. And so you're still in duality, you're still in division. You still don't see others as one with you, that we're all part of the one great creation. And so you're not going to want to abuse this power. And so once the spirit is integrated into this flesh, and the mind ego part of this vessel is in unison with the spirit or the oversoul or the higher self, now we can work together, not only within our own selves, working together, and now we're working together with everybody else that's also in this higher reality, because this creates just as a natural manifestation a higher reality, a higher way of living, a world where love is just not some idea that would be nice, but nobody really believes in it. But you love your mom, right? Or you love your spouse, but how do you really feel about strangers? How do you really feel about the masses out there? Do we have that kind of love for them? Do we have that kind of compassion for them? And see, that's kind of what I've been wading through the waters of, and with the learning, through the Cosmic Origin book, that we're in the 12th universal segment creation of the cosmos, and it's governed by the power of compassion. And so that got me thinking, okay, this whole universe is governed by the power and the energetic, let us say, signature of compassion. But if you just took somebody at random. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, how I'm trying to say this, but I'm trying to say it. In other words, we wouldn't know what compassion was without this cycle of reincarnation in this lower density human fleshly world, right? We've come to know, we've come to learn, we've come to understand what compassion is by experiencing what? A, a lot of bad stuff, a lot of traumatic stuff, or maybe we didn't experience it, maybe we just saw it, but that is experiencing it too, right? Because you can be traumatized by seeing, hearing, whatever. So through this process of, let us say, going through the animalistic evolution part of this ascension process, we've come to understand what compassion is. And so therefore we now are extending compassion out there to the world. And so we're not so judgmental. We're not so quick to judge people, because again, if you lived their life, if you walked in their shoes, if you experienced what they experienced, you might be worse than they are of whatever your judgment is that you're judging them, right? We would be worse than that. Like maybe we wouldn't handle it as good as they're handling it, even though they're manifesting things that are, let us say, they've become alcoholics, or they've become drug addicts, or they're just very belligerent and mean to other people, whatever it is, whatever the symptoms and the manifestations of let us say not having compassion or not understanding what compassion is, and of course, not being to the place of truly awakening and integrating the spirit into the matter and getting the ego in check, because that's all just egoic stuff, right? That's just the ego running the vessel, and it doesn't run the vessel very well, and it has all these tendencies that are generally bad. So we are extending this compassion to the world and inviting everybody to ascend, everybody to vibrate higher, and for everybody to also extend the compassion and to be less judgmental or not judgmental at all, and to really shift our consciousness and our reality. That's what shifts reality, is your consciousness. And so the third density people that are not ascending, and a lot of them are, there's many names. I've used NPC in the past. That works pretty well. They're AI controlled, and I'm going to say they're soulless again. We've talked about this before, right? They're soulless, but they're not devoid of life force currency, because anything and everything that has life has a measure of life force currency, right? But that doesn't mean they have a soul or a spirit. And perhaps we never really have a soul or spirit until we integrate, because what good or use is a higher self or a spirit if it's not part of the completed self, right? So those ones that are not ready, are not willing, not interested, don't give a damn about love, unity, or light, notice that they're disappearing from the reality. You see things, a lot of exposures happening right now, a lot of the behind the scenes thought they were going to get by with everything and were just used to business as usual being, corruption and deception and lying and projecting. All that's coming out more and more. And the people that are not ready, the NPCs, the soulless, the cyborgs, the AI controlled clone folk, because there is a lot of them out there, they're disappearing. They're dropping off. They went and got, 3, 4, 5, 6 wonder shots. And they're slowly but surely disappearing from this reality because heaven is manifesting here on Earth, and Earth is quickly moving into 4 and 5D. So, downloads kind of go right in line with synchronicity, because the more expanded we are and the higher vibrating we are, the synchronicity, the space, the gap, the time between the synchronicities becomes less and less, until eventually, let us say, when we're fully grounded in 5D Earth, heaven on Earth, everything's going to be a synchronicity. Like every time you turn around, there's going to be a synchronicity right there, and you're going to just be going, wow, this happened. Wow, that happened. This just keeps happening. Whereas right now, when synchronicities happen, there might be a pretty big gap in between them, right? Because we're not as dialed in. But the more dialed in we get, the more the synchronicities have less time gaps between them. And downloads just happen. You don't really plan for them. They just, as you are ready to receive the higher density information, knowledge, wisdom, love, light, it just happens. Just like with Tom swiping the phone. The minute his finger touched that green thing and he swiped, boom, he got the download. And he knew. And from that moment on, his awakening, he got more and more synchronicities happening, all the way up until today, right? And the motorcycle wreck itself was a synchronicity, seemingly a bad thing. And see, if he had taken that mindset about it and was still, let us say, further back in his evolution, he would have said, oh man, I can't believe this happened. This was so terrible. It's going to take me years to recover. All that old cyclical pattern thinking that we used to have about stuff when stuff would happen. Instead of saying everything that happens, I am a part of it, and if I don't consciously understand what that part is, I know that it's subconsciously, I'm a part of it subconsciously. So I had something to do with it, and it's meant for my good. It's not meant for my bad. It's meant for my good. So seemingly bad things that are happening in your life, there's actually a silver lining of good there. But can we see it? Are we to the level where we can now realize this and know this and take that silver lining, take that higher knowledge, take that upgrade, whatever you want to call it, and just keep moving forward into expansion and ascension? It's so beyond words. I mean, we find ourselves saying, amazing, beautiful, spectacular all the time when we're talking. We get to that place where it's like, man, words, you struggle to put it into words, because this is beyond language and words, because it's just that amazing to know this, and to know that you know this, and seemingly not a lot of people yet know this stuff. Get this. You can't just talk this way, normal, regular, to people out. You have to choose your words carefully and choose your times to speak carefully and all that. That's changing. That's all going to change. The minute we're all in 5D and the shift and the split happens, there's going to still be a lot of people that ascended that don't really understand what exactly is going on still yet, even though they ascended. But they're going to be able to quickly get up to speed, you know what I mean? So anyway, hope everybody's doing great. Enjoy your coffee, enjoy your morning, enjoy your day, and enjoy your expansion. Because it never ends, it never stops. That's another amazing thing about this. Every time you level up, you're like blown away, and then you realize we've still got a long ways to go into the beautiful, again, I'm struggling with words, not to get somewhere that we feel like, okay, we're standing on solid ground. When I'm saying it goes on forever, it's going into the wonder and the majesty and the amazing part of expansion. See, the biggest step that ever happens is our awakening, where we wake up from Maya and we begin to integrate the spirit into this flesh, and nothing will ever be the same from that point on. And we are co-creating our reality. Everybody is invited to do it. Everybody's invited to the 5D earth, and no one is going to be denied. But you must become sovereign. You must set your intention, It's your will. It's your free will. Nobody's going to force you to go. Nobody's going to force you to come. And maybe you're not ready to go. Maybe you still need some third density lifetimes on a 3D planet where duality is still being played out and people still fight and people still are in that battle mode like that. And that's fine. No judgment on them. If you're not ready, you're not ready. But most of us are ready. And if you're not ready, you're getting ready to be ready. So love, unity, and light, my beautiful friends and family. Until next time.